everyone, this is Bundy. Welcome back to another episode on the Fullstack server. I'm standing here in the breeding area of our space station and made a fair amount of progress since the last update. So why don't we just get right into this here and I'll show you what I've been up to. As you can see, the breeder is working perfectly. Love hearts are flowing and it is running fantastic. This is a Unarybit design. ZF did a great tutorial on it. Now I've got this maxed out. I've got four, setups here. That's 8 in each one, so 32 villagers in total. Now you don't need to have all 32. You could start off with 2 if you wanted, and just as you get more, just loop them up into here and build it up until you get one pod, and then I guess on to the next one and the next one and the next one. This is the feeding area right here. I've got several shulker boxes full of carrots over there just to drop in here when need be. And yeah, it's working great, faster than I would have ever imagined. So what I've done over here on the side is I've set up a detection system. Impulse SV did this in the last season of Hermitcraft, where you can raise and lower the villager by 1 block and it essentially shuts it off. When it's up near the top, it detects those doors there and turns the system on, and the villagers start producing babies. But if you lower it by 1 block, he doesn't detect the doors anymore and completely shuts it off. So now I've put a switch down below where that's the main area for villager breeding. So why don't we head on down there and I'll show you the rest of the setup. Now on this mid-flight here, you can see this is the catch area for the baby villagers. They get dropped into this pool here and they get fed off one way or the other depending on which side of which one of these pods it comes from, and they drop into this little holding area on each side, and when they grow up they hit this water flow right here and then get cycled off to one side or the other. So down here on the main level, I am utilizing all of our storage pods. Now, in the last episode, you saw that I set up 6 storage pods around the outside here, and I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to use them, but the villager breeder, of course, was the perfect idea. So from here, of course, as I said, they get fed off to each side. Now, each side of this is a mirror of the other, so we'll just go into the one side here. As we go across over to this end, you can see that the water flow takes all the way to the end here, drops them into this little holding chute here, and it's perfect. I think they're pretty maxed out in there right now. Not sure if we have entity cramming on the server. I don't think we do, because every once in a while when I leave the chunks, I come back and a whole bunch of these guys have shot out the sides. So I haven't figured out a way to stop them from doing that, but it just gives me a little bit of, culling to be done before I get to doing the actual selections here. So this right here is a setup that I came up with for doing the main selections for the villagers. I wanted to try and get kind of ruthless at the beginning, kind of just looking at the first trade, and that's about it. First book trade was all I'm caring about, so I want to cycle through them as quick as I could. Going through the setup that Mumbo and everybody pretty much on the Hermitcraft server with bringing them out and having them go along on a cart, mine cart through water, just takes way too long. So this case, what they do is drops them into here, and I've got a setup here where depending on whether I want to save them, if I turn this off, I am getting rid of them, and when I want to save them, you can see it just a little bit of an abogate here set up. It pulls the track away, then pulls the block away, and then vice versa, puts the block back in and pushes the track in. So let's see if we can take another quick look at it. There you go. There you go. So what we do here is we say, take a quick look here, call for a cart. There was a cart right there to start with, but what it does, it cycles up this little dropper elevator. All I'm looking for right now is librarians, so all I need to do is click them here, and why not, in a space station, send them off into the void. Send them out for a space walk in the end. So now looking at this guy here, librarian, infinity for 5. That's fantastic. So got to find a room for him. I don't think I've got any infinity for that low, so I think I might have one already, but what we want to do is turn the selector on, that we're going to do it. What's going to happen, it's going to push him all the way along the cart path here, over to there, over into this one. It's actually going to go over to here first, so let's make sure that that is turned on there. So it doesn't drop him into the other side, and then it's going to bring him back over to here. So right now, I've got this kind of just a bit of a catch-all here for the guys. I'll explain that in a few moments. But let's just send this guy over, and we'll follow him to the next stage. So when he goes along, as I said, he's going to catch that cart, do a little back and forth over there, and then come into here and then shoot them off into the end with the other guys. So this is just temporary hold'em. I haven't got to assorting them all out yet. These are the librarians that I've kept so far, but that is one guy. So that was right off the bat. We found another one. Of course, I've gone through quite a few, but since I've used that cart, I need to call one from my my collection chests here, and it's going to bring another one through. And again, you know, for the beginning part with the with farmers, I was looking for farmers, didn't want any fishermen. I know all brown coats work, but just looking for farmers because they're the best to trade for getting emeralds. So get rid of this guy, and as you can see, he's going to go up for a little spacewalk here, and he's off into the void. No lava required, just straight void. So you can cycle through these all really fast. The only time delay is waiting for the cart to come back up here and pick up the next one. Again, librarian, blast protection 3. Nah, I don't really want that. I actually have a protection 4 villager for, I don't know, maybe a dozen emeralds. Like, awesome trades. So don't like this guy, get rid of him, send him off. And as soon as the next one comes by, and you know, this is just rinse and repeat. Now, the nitwits, I actually have a purpose for the nitwits, and so why don't we head over there after we take a look at this guy, cartographer. Don't need no stinking cartographers. So why don't we head over here and take a look at what we've got set up here in our sorting area. So once I've done the main selections there, the idea is I wanted some sort of a trading hall that would fit into these cylinders. Now, everybody else's trading halls go on for like 50 blocks one way or the other, and I just don't like those. The efficiency of those is just terrible, having to run from one end to the other to check them out. So what I came up with was a stackable villager vending machine. You know, I think this is probably the first of its kind, but I'm sure somebody else has done it. But it allows me to stack, and in this case I've got a stack of 8 farmers here and another 8 farmers here, and then some villagers over on this side. So, you know, I can just cycle through these guys, you know, do whatever trade I need to do, and then cycle him down. What happens? He drops down one, the guy on the bottom rolls all the way up to the top, and there he goes. So I can just go through one after another, and just continually sort through them. So there is no walking around required. I can just trade as long as I want. Now I decided to keep a lot of farmers here just due to the fact that sometimes the farmers' trades get locked out, and I can just shoot through all the pumpkins and then all the melons, and then back over to here again, go melons and the pumpkins, and just keep going and going and going. And if you look here, I've got emeralds galore. I've got shulker box full right now, and that's just after a little bit of trading. Now, for the few good villagers that I've found to date, I'm going to have to come up with some sort of a system here, but I've got several mending villagers already, and in the protection 4, which in unbreaking, it's kind of what I was thinking to put here. Maybe have 4 mending villagers, or more, and a couple protection and a couple on breaking. Those are important ones to have, especially when you're suiting up your armor with the right enchants. But let's take a look at what we got here. So we've got mending for 28. Mending 24. So I think these are all mending here so far. And as you can see, here's my nitwits here. We'll just call them placeholders. So until I actually get them sorted out, these guys are just here to hold a spot. And the reason that is that when they do come off the top here, even though these guys stack nicely on top of each other's heads, they do take fall damage. So if they, you can drop in a cart as high as you want and land on another track and not take damage. But if you do drop off of here and land on the head of another one, it's not the one below that gets crushed that gets damaged. It's the one that's in the cart. Kind of should be the reverse, I would think, but or maybe a combination thereof. But that's basically how it works. So I've got these guys set up here, and it's quite simple. Go down to the bottom here. You can see that just got a simple piston here. There is no track underneath that one. Just pushes them out, sends them up to the top, and the next one comes down. It's as I said, I'm quite proud of myself. I actually did one of these back on a previous server. And but that was before I was recording, so nobody ever really got to see it, but managed to bring it back to life here, and it works great. Now over in the other side here, this is where I was starting to do all the sorting. I've got quite a few other villagers down below here. Couple started here, trying to figure out which ones I want. Basically, stuff for your efficiency and picks and stuff, for boots and for swords, for bows, kind of all the main ones that I've had trouble getting in the past. So, let's head on down below here, and I'll show you what I've found here so far. Actually, one more down. These are the guys I got to sort out once we get going. This is the protection for one. There you go, 15. Actually, I got to send him back to the other side because I think I'm going to put him over there. This one here, this is the feather falling 4 for 15. That's usually feather falling. When you get to these like tier 3 trades, usually they're up in the 30s and 40s, but occasionally you'll get a really good one. Here, sweeping edge 16, another good one here. I haven't tried using that yet. This is the best unbreaking I have right now at 36. I actually have an unbreaking 2 here for 11, so this is technically a better trade than that one, because to combine these two to unbreaking 3, it's only 22. So, but I've got 2 of them on hand here. This guy, Depth Strider 2, same thing. I'll have to just cycle him until I get a better one. Actually, I forgot. I do have a better one. And, 25 emeralds for that. Depth Strider 3, that's great. Over here, Silk Touch 17. Think that's good, but I got a couple other better ones up there. And this was the guy we just brought over here which was Infinity for 5. Let's see, what was this guy? Flame. I don't know. I don't know why I kept him. I thought he might be worthwhile, but really, Flame comes in handy. But I might, if I have the space here, I will keep them. So in here, I've got Fortune 3, 22. That's not too bad. Let's just cycle through these guys right here. Just go pretty quick. Fast forward through these. So this guy here is Silk Touch for 10. See it? Oh, Silk Touch for 10. Told you I had a better one. And here, this guy is Silk Touch for 7. Even better. All right, see, 10 and 70. 2 of them combined beats you. So in the other columns here, of course, I've just got nitwits here, so I will eventually sort through all these guys and get them going. But for now, this is this setup. I will start doing them as we go, but the main trading here is what I've been starting on for the last little while. I've been trading with these guys and trying to find pumpkin and melon trades. And as you can see, I've maxed that guy out there. So, you know, if I was trying to trade melons, I'd go to the next guy. And I think I might have, the last trading session I did, I had maxed out all the melons. So, you know, the good thing about it is pretty much every time, in order to clear that melon trade there, I just have to trade some pumpkins, and it frees up both trades. So you can just bounce back and forth between the two of them. And but you know, getting melons, of course, was, I didn't want to have to run back and forth to our to the overworld to get them. So why not squeeze in 2 more Ilmango builds here. I've got his high efficiency pumpkin melon farms, and they are also tied into this switch too. So if we turn this off, you can see that guy gets turned off right there. That's our villager guy there for the breeder, and this turns off the farm. So they're going to finish off the rotation there, and both of them feed into. So that's my switch here. Not the best switch, but it works really good. These guys feed into some shulker box loaders down below here. Pretty much been leaving these guys here running all the time over here in the melon. I have got several shulker boxes just waiting to be consolidated. The pumpkins don't run quite as fast, but you know, by the time I craft up the melons, it works out probably to be about the same for trading. So that works. Works great. You know, the only one I potentially might have to run off for will be for carrots, but I think I'll probably just install a small nano farm up on that villager level. But you know what? This is it. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show you for today. Next stage is to maybe start working on the Enderman farm at the bottom, which means building out some big solar panels and getting that all set up below. But I hope you enjoyed you know, the update on the villager breeding system. And if you have any questions about it, please let me know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe. So I'm hoping to start back up on doing some regular streaming and try and get some more regular updates here to the channel. But until next time, catch you later. See you real soon.